Hey guys, what's up? I'm Christian Taylor and today I am in the gorgeous British Virgin Islands to do a very special video. This is a review of the LifeProof free case for the iPhone XS. Now I've always loved LifeProof cases, but I haven't used one in a while. But since it's been a couple years, I asked LifeProof to send out some free cases for the iPhone XS and they graciously sent some out for review. And I'm here to tell you, this case has come a long way. So before I go further in the review, I want to talk about why LifeProof cases are still relevant in 2019. Because I was under the perception that, oh, I don't need a waterproof phone case anymore. My iPhone is waterproof. Apple is really deceptive in their keynotes when they tell you that the iPhone XS is IP68 water resistant, which means it's protected for 2 meters of water for up to 30 minutes. What inspired me to do this review and take a look at LifeProof's case was when I made this video a couple videos back on the UAG Active Watch strap. You can check that review out over there. I went into the pool to test the strap out with my Apple Watch, move it around, make sure it was secure and that it wasn't going anywhere. And when I was in the pool, I accidentally left my iPhone XS in my pocket in a non-waterproof case. And I said, no worries, it's IP68 water resistant. I'm just gonna get out of the pool, rinse it off in fresh water, let it dry. I didn't plug it in for 5 hours and I thought I was good to go. But later on, the phone started glitching. I started having all sorts of problems with it, and I won't go on because I made a whole video about my experience there. But long story short, Apple was super kind and fixed the phone for free. But had I not been so fortunate, my $1,000 iPhone would have been toast. And that is why I definitely think you should consider a LifeProof case still, even with newer phones, if you're someone who's around water a lot, you like to travel and go to beaches, or if you're around a lot of dust. Maybe you work in a workshop where there's sawdust or metal bits and pieces everywhere. The LifeProof case is gonna make sure your phone stays in pristine condition. So we're gonna start out with the features, like how you can hear your speaker, access the screen, and all of that. The audio coming out of this case sounds phenomenal. It honestly sounds like basically the phone speaker with no case, maybe a little bit less bass, but that is a super fair trade-off for what you're getting. Now, in case you don't know, this LifeProof case is rated for up to 2 meters of submersion for 1 hour in water, and it also claims to be dust-proof. So if you're here at a beach and you throw your phone in the sand, whoops, no worries. It's gonna be just fine. If you need to, you can open it up and clean it out, but it's gonna keep the dust out for you. So just shake it off, move on with your day. Everything is going to be fine. Now it's also protected for drops up to 6 feet. You can see around here, there's some nice high quality rubber and plastic on the back. So if your phone does take a tumble, everything's going to be fine there. But I think why a lot of people like this case is because it's waterproof. If you want to go swimming, you can take it with you. If you want to go in the ocean, you can take it with you. It works out really well. So I want to take a minute to talk about the screen. On previous LifeProof cases, it was a little bit hard to use the screen. It felt a little mushy, it was hard to type. But whatever technology LifeProof is using on this case makes it an absolute breeze to use. It's easy to type, it doesn't feel mushy in any way. It is a pretty high quality experience. Now it's maybe not as nice as a glass screen protector. You definitely know you're feeling plastic. But once again, for that trade-off of basically getting a waterproof phone, I'd say it's well worth it. So for this case being waterproof, you're really not making a lot of sacrifices. Sure, it maybe looks a little bit clunkier than a slim case like the OtterBox Symmetry. However, this is still a pretty thin case, and you're getting a lot of usability. For example, this ringer switch here, it's very easy to press. I'll overlay a B-roll shot. You just flip it like a switch, like you would without a case on. The port is accessible at the bottom by just popping it open and you can charge. The case is fairly easy to install, and in fact, LifeProof even recommends that you test the case underwater for 30 minutes before you put your phone in, just to make sure that everything is watertight, and if it's not, send the case back and they'll send you a brand new one that's gonna work for you. So I did do that on this case and confirm that it is indeed watertight before I started using it. Now, the only downside I was able to find about this case during my day-to-day usage was that there is a slight haze on the camera sometimes. Now, I think this has to do with humidity levels. If you walk from a cooler, drier to a warmer, more humid environment, there's a little bit of moisture, I think, that gets between the phone's camera lens and the plastic of the case. I could be getting this wrong, but I just noticed at times when I go to take a picture, things are a little bit foggy, even if I wipe off the outside here. I take a microfiber cloth, I wipe it off. I even tried opening up the case and cleaning both the phone's camera lens and the inside of the camera lens on the case, and that did not seem to affect it. So it's a little bit hit or miss, but for having a watertight piece of plastic over your camera, footage looks really good. I've actually been shooting an entire week's vlog on this cruise. I'm currently on a Disney cruise and I've done the entire thing with the iPhone XS in this case. So the clear audio you hear and the clear footage, it's from within a waterproof case, which I find pretty cool. Now, speaking of location, before we wrap things up, a little bit of an interesting bit for you about the British Virgin Islands. We took a rib boat here to this beach from the Disney ship, and as we were going along, our tour guide actually said, hey, you see that island over there? That is owned by the OtterBox and LifeProof CEO. That's his personal island in his personal house. So what better place to review the LifeProof case than right here, right next to the CEO's private island, out where there's an ocean, there's sand. Perfect way to test this case. And just to show you how confident I'm feeling about this case, you can see we got some sand over there, dust. I'm here by some rocks, and you ready, Alex? I could just, my phone is gonna be just fine. Well, anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. That's gonna do it for this video. I had an absolute blast shooting this video. So if you like what you saw, do be sure to hit that subscribe button and click the bell so you don't miss when I release new videos. I make videos all about Apple, tech accessories, and more, so you're not gonna wanna miss it, and I'd love for you to come along and join the community. So with that said, I will catch you guys next time. Oh, whoops. It's okay, I have a LifeProof case. I'm good. See you guys later.